Why digital citizenship matters. What you do and what you post online creates an impression of who you are. You want your digital profile to remain positive because of the opportunities this positive reputation can open up for your future. You also want to avoid the negative consequences of posting inappropriate, offensive, or harmful content. Negatives could include losing friends, not being able to get a job, or going to jail. The times are changing. Our use and misuse of social media and digital tools have only increased in recent years. Social distancing meant we relied on technology more to close the communication gap. Take a look at the data before COVID protocols, and then imagine how today's usage is even more prevalent. According to Common Sense Media, as of 2019, the amount of daily screen use for tweens ages 8 to 12 was over 4.5 hours, and that does not include time at school or for homework. For teenagers, that's over 7 hours of daily screen use outside of schoolwork. Percent of kids who watch online videos every day from 2015 to 2019 doubled. Daily computer use for homework also doubled between the years 2015 to 2019 for tweens and teens. Pause the video and have a quick conversation about this question. How can we simultaneously decrease our screen time and increase our meaningful use of technology? Responsible usage. Responsible usage means being a digital citizen affects your responsibilities, navigating and posting on social media, establishing who you are online, using your cell phone, citing sources, and leaving a digital footprint. Navigating and posting on social media. In this year's news, here are some examples of fallout from social media posts. Chrissy Teigen accused of being a cyberbully on Twitter. She apologizes and later deletes her account. The fallout included several stores like Target and Macy's refusing to sell Teigen's Cravings cookbooks and related products. Chris Harrison leaves his 20-year hosting job of The Bachelor after a post seeming to support racism and cultural appropriation. Producer Mike Richards was set to host the popular game show Jeopardy! When sexist comments he made on a podcast in the past resurfaced. In February, The Mandalorian star Gina Carano was fired by Lucasfilm for social media posts denigrating people based on their cultural and religious identities, and found her words abhorrent and unacceptable. In October, Raiders coach John Gruden resigned after emails containing homophobic, misogynistic, and racist comments surfaced. In a statement, Gruden apologized with, "I never meant to hurt anyone," but the damage was already done. The popularity of damaging behavior in videos is smaller than you might guess. A November 2021 global survey found that fewer than 3% of teens took part in challenges considered to be risky and dangerous. Of teens who are taking part, only 21% participated in an online challenge of any type, but only 2% have taken part in a challenge they consider to be risky and dangerous, and less than 1% have taken part in a challenge they have categorized as really dangerous. Cyberbullying. What is it? Using technology and communication online to send, share, or post information that is mean, untrue, harmful, negative, intimidating, embarrassing, or humiliating. This next video will describe cyberbullying specifically in the context of hate speech.
When I go online, I see hate speech everywhere.
Usually it's about race or religion.
And I've seen this all in social media, Facebook, YouTube.
I've definitely seen hate speech in comment sections.
Basically every single platform. There's always that one racist or sexist comment that's always going to be there.
I don't think you have to go very far to find it.
I don't have a need to go digging for it.
It's everywhere.
I define hate speech as anything that's threatening or meant to hurt somebody else.
Anything you say or do that is kind of attacking any part of someone, whether it's what they look like, their beliefs.
I'm not sure of the exact definition of hate speech.
Any way you use your words to oppress or harm somebody else, it doesn't necessarily have to be a derogatory term or a slur. It could just be words that we use in our everyday sentences.
The meaning of it has become really vague, or at least really wide.
Someone is no longer just being offensive when what they're saying is marginalizing or hurting a whole community of people. For example, their religion, their race. If that's what you're going for, that's no longer just you being mean. That's hate speech.
I have definitely encountered hate speech online. I found it a lot more on social media than I have in real life.
I see it in maybe comments on YouTube videos or tweets on Twitter.
Twitter has a huge amount of hate speech. It's such an open platform for people to just type down what they think and send it off.
I tend to see it on memes or funny posts or meant to be funny posts.
And I think it's those type of people that they'll say it over social media, but they won't say it in person because they're too afraid and they don't want to own up to having that kind of ideology.
I don't think it's a joke to me. If it's racist, then they post it to be racist because that's what they're thinking about.
Some close friends of mine from middle school actually created a private Instagram account, and they used it to post racist, ableist, sexist, xenophobic pictures.
Last year, someone created an extremely anti-Semitic Instagram account, and it was always so personal and so targeted. And I wish that I could say that was the last time that something like that had happened at our school, but it isn't.
It made me kind of question my place and where I belong in this school, because it's supposed to be our sanctuary space, and students within this very building in the same classrooms as me are posting photos that dehumanize me. It was hurtful.
I think that people are posting hate speech online because, for the first part, it's easier for people to talk through a screen.
It's almost like a sheet in front of you where you can cover your face, but sound still goes through. So people can say whatever they want and kind of get away with it.
I do think that xenophobia is one factor to why people use hate speech.
Part of it is just to get a reaction, or part of it is just to get attention.
The people who put these types of posts on media, they seem to be going through something themselves.
It's maybe because of their past, or they've been hurt before and they want to hurt others to make them feel better about themselves.
I've never seen someone post hate speech being a friendly person who is just trying to say their opinion. I think the hate speech is put out there just to target a certain group.
It's such a large platform that so many people could see that it's really easy to get your message across, and people are going to read it because it's on social media.
So when I see something on my timeline, I go out of my way to report it. I go out of my way to stop that because I know somebody else isn't going to take it the same way that I do.
How you feel when somebody's talking some negative things about you, that it hurts your feelings.
Yeah, I feel a sort of social responsibility. We all should be lifting each other up rather than putting each other down.
When I see some people posting racist things online, I just don't do nothing about it because I feel I ask myself, what can I do to stop this?
I can't really do anything about it. I kind of just have to ignore it.
It's really hurtful to the other person. I don't think they realize it. It really demoralizes them and lowers their self-esteem.
I would report hate speech when I see it.
When we see these posts on our timelines or on our Instagrams and our feeds, Twitter, Snapchat, even group chats, we feel the need to speak out. And when we speak out, we give those people who hurt us that attention that they always craved.
I feel like if you don't have anything good to say, don't say it.
Everyone always argues with these people, and I do too. But
I think people are free to express what they have to say, but I don't think it should be at the cost of putting somebody else down.
Now that you've watched the video, pause here and have a quick conversation about this question. How does hate speech affect all of us? What to do when you or someone you know experiences cyberbullying. Do not respond or engage in the communication any further. Save the evidence. Any online harassment that is sexual in nature should also be reported to report.cybertip.org. Meet with school administrators to discuss a plan of action and their cyberbullying policy. And do not forward embarrassing photos or messages. If it reached you, it stops with you and should be reported. Do not comment on insulting or harassing posts. Report it to the website or the app. Tell a teacher and a dean at school if it involves a classmate. And support the victim by being a good friend. Show the bullies they will never win. Establishing who you are online. Your accounts, your images, and your personal info. Choose an avatar that is not your current personal photo. Be careful that the images you post are not racist, discriminatory, or negatively portraying any people group. Do not reveal your school, your home address, your city, or any other geographical identifying information about yourself in your online profile. When gaming online, remember that players often do not truly know each other. Do not share any personal information like your hometown, your address, or contact information. Do not agree to meet anyone in person. And do not post images or video of yourself. Passwords. No revealing information like your name or common words if you want this to be secure. Unique to each account you use. Something that's easy to remember, strings of words that even into phrases. Use varied characters, capital letters, and symbols. Change your password every 6 months or sooner if notified of a breach. And do not store your passwords in plain text. Use a secure password manager. Password phrases that you would remember, like, today I will do 2 great things, could be TIWD 2GT exclamation. Or a sentence, why are there 3 bears in Goldilocks? And the different letters and symbols combination could be your password. Using your cell phone responsibly.
Once you do anything online, it doesn't go away. So if you send a picture like that, it's not going to go away.
So if you send to somebody a nude photo of you and then they don't keep it themselves, they make it like viral on social media.
I've seen people that did something they thought was justified in 8th grade and have it be affected their senior year of high school.
I think everybody at some point has been shown that scare you out of sexting newspaper story where some girl sent nudes to her boyfriend and then her ex-best friend got her hands on it and sent it to the whole school.
When a nude gets leaked, it's like Your family gonna see it. Different people you don't even know is screenshotting you. The picture that you sent to this one person is never gonna go away. It's never, you know what I'm saying? You're just stuck with it.
Citing sources. We call this copyright and fair use.
When we go on the internet, it's common to scroll through other people's images, videos, writing, and artwork. We might even want to use them for projects in school or at home. And we might think, I found it online, so it's mine. But that's not the case. We can't treat things we find online like a free-for-all. The good news is that there are legitimate ways to use material we find online. But first, we need to be aware of 3 concepts: copyright, public domain, and fair use. Why is all of this so important? For one, there are legal reasons for protecting everyone's creative work. And there are also ethical reasons to give credit to the people who create the things we see and find online. Let's start with the legal reasons why we should think twice before copying and using someone's work. The first is copyright. Copyright is a legal protection that creators have over the things they create. Copyright requires people to get permission before they copy, paste, alter, or share what someone else has made. Most things that we find, download, and copy and paste from the internet are copyrighted. This means that the people who created them own the content and have a say in how they're used. But that doesn't mean that everything on the internet can't be used. Some creators indicate that their content is okay to be used by others, and other content might fall under what's called public domain. Let's look at what public domain means. When we search for content that's in the public domain, it means these creative works are not copyrighted and are free to use without permission by anyone, however they want. According to US law, some content becomes available as public domain after a certain number of years have passed since its creation. There are also specific images and documents published by the government that are considered public domain. So, when in doubt, search public domain to find a ton of things that are totally free to use. Now, if we want to use a photo, a video, music, or other content that's copyrighted, there are still a few things we can do. We can simply reach out and ask the creator for permission. Many creators are happy to give permission to reproduce their work, as long as they're given credit. The third concept to take advantage of is called fair use. Fair use allows us to use copyrighted work without permission, but only in certain ways and in specific situations. These conditions involve 4 areas to consider: amount, purpose, nature, and effect. First, we can only use a small amount of the original work. This means someone can't copy the whole copyrighted song in their dance video, but they can use a short clip of it. Second, there has to be a new purpose in the project, meaning that we transform the original work into something new and different. Next, it's easier to claim fair use if the nature of the original work is nonfiction or based in fact, rather than creative or fictional. And finally, we need to ask ourselves whether the effect of the new work negatively affects the creator or the value of the original content. For instance, are we charging for or making money off someone else's work? Claiming fair use is determined on a case-by-case basis, but it's more likely acceptable if it's 1, for schoolwork and education, 2, for criticizing or commenting on something, 3, for news reporting, or 4, for comedy or as a parody of something. We can think of fair use kind of like a square, and ask ourselves, is it fair and square? So that's the legal stuff. But let's not forget the ethical considerations when using content found online. Think about it. If you created something original and put it online, wouldn't you want others to give you credit for your work? What if they changed it or made money off it and no one knew you were the original creator? That's just not right. So remember, when we go online in search of things to use, keep these 3 concepts in mind: copyright, public domain, and fair use. We're all creative thinkers and creators, and it's always important to give credit where credit is due.
Leaving a digital footprint.
The idea of, posting and having a lot of people see it can definitely be kind of scary.
If you're a teenager, you're gonna make bad decisions sometimes.
They can screenshot it, they can do so many things to save that, and they can edit it in ways that you won't want them to.
Whether or not you think it'll go away, it's there. Anything you post online, you're stuck with.
Oversharing to me is putting too much of your personal life in front of a wide audience of people.
Posting something for the sake of showing that you're there and maybe not because you're actually having that great of a time.
Posting about things that people don't necessarily think are significant, but they're just kind of posting to be posting.
What you share and how often you share is going to affect the way that somebody views you. Just because I'm going to post all the time, that doesn't mean that you're going to get all the attention. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to like you.
For example, people have like Finstas or spam accounts where they just like post random stuff, and sometimes they get too personal with what they're talking about on there.
Things that are meant to be texted one-to-one, people tend to post online so 50 other people can see their plans for tomorrow or the next weekend. You could be doing something like that could potentially endanger yourself by making your account public and saying too much about where you live or who you are.
When I'm in like a cool location and I want to show everybody where I am, but most of the time I'll just tag where I am on like a Snapchat story so people can know.
So once you put something online, it can be there forever because people might take screenshots, they might record it, they might save it.
I don't think people don't realize that it's gonna be there forever. I think they just don't care. A lot of people have this mentality of like, what I'm doing is very insignificant. Why is anyone gonna care about this?
You should be cautious of what you post. Don't post your pictures and think like, okay, nobody's seeing me, nobody's screenshotting me, nobody doing nothing, because people doing that, you're just not gonna know.
Your Snapchats, despite the fact that they only last, 4 to 8 seconds, they're still there. Your Instagram stories that go away after 24 hours, they're still there.
Anything that is posted, anything that's up, no matter what happens, even if you leave it up for a minute and take it down, it's there as soon as you put it up there.
No one's going to scrutinize everything that you say the same way that you might.
You are not obliged to post every second of your life in order to please what you might seem as the majority of people. So when you feel like you have to post all the time, when you feel like you have to do this in order to get fame and attention, you don't. It's not your job.
That's something you always have to be thinking about. What do you want people to remember you on social media as?
Pause for a 60-second silent thinking moment about what's currently on your digital footprint for others to find. What does your digital footprint say about you? Be careful about what you share, where you share it, and with whom you share. Be smart about the sites you visit, the emails you open, and the links you click. Be yourself, but be your best self. When in doubt, share your concerns and questions about your online interactions with a trusted adult. Digital citizenship is a responsibility with positive rewards or negative consequences. Pause before you post and think about the purpose of your message. And remember the Be the Three formula. Be the third person who decides to intervene when you see a conflict between two people. Am I a digital citizen? Ask yourself these two questions. What good things am I using technology tools and apps to perform? What good things do I want to be known for posting online? This is why you may hear others advise you to pause before you post. That moment of reconsideration and evaluation may prevent you from posting something you will regret later on. Have this discussion after the video. How do you define digital citizenship? What does it mean to you as a creator and consumer of online content? For further information, we recommend stopbullying.gov and commonsense.org.